$90 million in home sales in 12 months using YouTube. I don't even know if there's anything else to really say. I mean, if you're a business owner, never mind the fact if you're a real estate agent, a broker, or involved in the real estate game at all, this show is for you. If you're a business owner, this show is for you. If you're a content creator, this show is for you. If you're an aspiring YouTuber, this show is for you. We've got Levi Lascsak on the show today who's going to unpack and school us on how he did what I call the absolute miraculous. You got to come on back. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Creator Economy Livestream Podcast show. This is a show where we help you monetize your experience, skills, and creativity in the creator economy. The creator economy is quite literally the greatest invention since the iPhone. I've never seen opportunities like this for you to monetize your expertise, monetize your creativity, your skills, etc. There's never been this many opportunities, and this is just the beginning. I, Professor Nez, am your ambassador to the creator economy, helping you, sharing with you, bringing amazing guests on this show, all to help you so you don't have to go anywhere else. And here's a sure-proof way. We're going to bring in our guests very, very soon, shortly. But here's a foolproof way for you to always be on the in on what's the latest, greatest, state-of-the-art info, resources, and new features in the creator economy. You got to become an insider. We go live every single week. I put out and publish posts, videos, articles, etc. every single week. The marketplace moves at breakneck speed. Why be frustrated and worry? Where do I get the latest information? What's happening on Instagram? What's happening on YouTube? What's happening with e-commerce? You can get it all in one place right here on our show. I have been doing this since 1575, forever. I'm an old dog, for crying out loud. I know I look good for 500 years old, don't I? Make sure you become an insider. It's absolutely free. I don't think there's a word in the English language that I hate more than the word spam. And we never, ever, ever share your email. I put that on my kids, y'all. This is your foolproof way. Because even if you subscribe, even if you hit the bell notification, you don't always get notified. Algorithms are changing more than I change my boxer shorts. Sorry, TMI. But they do. They change rapidly. They change all the time. Good to see you, Shards of Gaming. Come on in. Make sure you share this out because sharing is caring. Make sure you become an insider. We're going to jump right into it very, very soon. But first, I get your messages all the time, y'all. Nez, how do you do this? How do you have such a nice, clean, professional looking live stream? How do you do that cool ticket taper? How do you bring comments up like this? How do you bring comments up like that? How do you put all these cool branding elements? How do you go live in 7,000 different places? Well, I told you, and I've said this a million times, live streaming is one of the greatest, if not the greatest way to build an audience in today's creator economy. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you want to look like this and actually have a little level of production, it's really about convenience. I've been live streaming since 1497, a long time. And I've tried every single software. I've tried every single platform on planet Earth. And there's only one that I use, and that's StreamYard. So if you're thinking about live streaming, or maybe you're frustrated with live streaming, or you've never gone live, I'm telling you right now, not only is it an amazing way to monetize and build audiences, but it really helps if you have the right tool, and I've tried them all. this one's the best. And with my link in the pinned comment, with my link in the description, you don't even need a credit card. You sign up for a free trial. It takes 2 seconds. And guess what? You can go live and just try it out. See how it works. StreamYard, that is the number one live stream software out there. I also get all your messages and DMs saying, Nez, what I want to, you keep saying building content is the engine to your business. You do live streams, you do podcasts, you do videos, you do short form, long form, etc. Where do I start? What kind of camera do you use? What kind of audio do you use? What kind of lighting do you use? What kind of memory card, capture card, etc., etc. Tripod. I've created, being an Amazon influencer, I created my very own storefront. And if you want to know all the latest gear, tools, and equipment that I personally use and vouch for, just go to amazon.com/shop/Professor Nez. The link is also in the description and the show notes. Replay viewers, podcast listeners, I love ya. You got to be here every single week. You got to come hang out with us live. I want to see you because we go live every single week. We do this segment of the show where I bring on expert guests to help you monetize in the creator economy. And we also do our Sunday live every single Sunday. As of this recording, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday. Come hang out and have Sunday brunch with your boy Nez and the greatest online community on planet Earth, Nez Nation. Hey, if you haven't shared this out, I would really, really appreciate it. Let's see who's here. Nano's in the house. Good to see you. Nano, we also do a lot of giveaways. We also do a lot of prizes and sweepstakes. I mean, I'm the new Pat Sajak, y'all. Nano actually got, he was in our fall giveaway. Huge. We gave away a brand new Sony ZV-1 camera. And Nano, my man Luis, was the winner of that. I mean, Nano's been with me since the beginning, since Periscope days back in 1355. You notice how I keep going further back? When I would put my phone on a telephone book, when there were such things as telephone books. John, Creative Minds, good to see you, man. Welcome. Shards of Gaming, thank you so much. Who's ready? Who's ready to learn how to dominate on the number one video platform? I know TikTok's big, Instagram's big. I get it. Facebook Watch ain't going nowhere. LinkedIn videos coming in hot. But YouTube is still numero uno, y'all. It's still numero uno. And even if you're not into real estate, because most of you guys are trying to be full-time creators, you're trying to build your personal brand, build your thought leadership. Content has built me over 7 revenue streams. I'm a full-time media company / content creator. You're going to get a ton out of this show. So without further ado, who's ready for my guest? Give me a hashtag yeah in the chat. Good to see you, Lewis. Lewis is in the house. Hey, Annette. This show is definitely for you, Annette. Yes, it's small, but mighty powerful. That's absolutely, yeah. You know what? I agree, Shards. NezTube. NezTube is probably the best platform. Exactly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, he's in the green room right now. Give a huge, good to see you, Chris Jones Media. I hope you saw your YouTube evaluation, Chris Jones. I'm seeing a lot of hashtag yeah. Give a huge welcome to somebody who I call a really, really good friend, somebody who I met in the online world, more specifically on Clubhouse, and who has taken the last 12 to 24 months to heart, paying attention, and also bestowing upon us mountains of knowledge. This guy can do anything, but if you remember the title of this stream and the title of this video and podcast, he's crushing it in the real estate vertical using YouTube. And I don't mean crushing it like, ooh, cool, he's doing great. No. He's not doing good. He's not even doing great. He's doing spectacular. 90 million. I mean, wrap your head around that number in 12 months. Closings, real estate sales in 12 months. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all going to be working for him one day. Give a huge Nez Nation welcome to my man, Levi Lascsak. Levi, how in the world are you, brother?
I'm doing great, Nez. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Well, I mean, I am doing phenomenal, A, and B, you know, we had you on the stream a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, in a sort of impromptu stream, right?
Yep.
I'm so excited. You know how well I am, Levi? I'm excited because now I get you as a dedicated guest. And, you know, I just want to jump right into it. I want to get cooking right away and bring value to this audience. I know you want to do the same thing. Can you just like help me, dude? Help me unpack that unreal number. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around it. 90 million in sales. Talk to us. I don't even know where to start. Can you unpack that?
You eat an elephant one bite at a time. That's how you do it. I mean, this is what I love about YouTube is that YouTube allows you to grow and scale accordingly if you're doing it organically. And this was all done organically without a single penny spent on ads towards the channel. Zero cross promotion. We never even told my mom about it. We didn't promote it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, never did any sharing at all whatsoever. We let YouTube algorithm work for us and find the audience for us. And so, the thing is last April, we're literally at 1 year from the first closing. We closed 2 homes last April. Last March, we closed 3 homes in March. Well, last month in March, we closed 35 homes. So you see, we had a whole year pretty much to prepare, for that growth, because it started with 2, then it went to 3, then it went to 5, then it went to 7, then it went to 9, then it went to 12, then 15, so each month progressively got bigger and bigger. But because YouTube is a long game and it is a slow growth typically, unless you were to go completely viral overnight. But it was a slow, steady growth for us. And so that allowed us to put everything in place that we needed. Now, not everything worked perfectly in the beginning, but every time something broke or went wrong or did not work, we would say, okay, we need a trigger for that. We need a campaign for that. We need an automation for that. You see, because as a business owner, if you have to do anything twice, you should create a process, an automation, a trigger, an SOP, something that someone else or the system can do for you, because you should not really be doing repeat tasks, especially administrative, emails, text, those types of things. And so we just built every single piece of it as we went and grew accordingly. And so that's really how you can do that and scale over time. And now once you hit that compound effect, you can easily add more people, because then the income is there as well. So that's the other great thing, is that you sell 2 homes, it's a good income, but it's not going to allow you to just expand overnight, right? So you got to pick and choose as well. Okay, what do I need to improve? What do I need to grow on? And so you just start to pick your priorities, expand on those, or maybe possibly you bring on another person. And I'll tell you what, this is something that has allowed us to really grow, is that anytime we want to implement or grow, the first thing I ask is, who can we get to do this? Instead of how do we do this? That used to be my question in the old days, back in 1785 when you started streaming. That's what I used to ask, was how can we do this? But the thing is that I know we can, like you said, we can do anything. I mean, with the internet, with YouTube, with Google, with books, I mean, all the information to do whatever you want to do in your business is out there. So the how is really, I think, the easy part. The question is who can I get to do this? Because it shouldn't be me. The only thing that I should be doing is creating content, period. And the thing is that I've even come to the point to where we've incorporated our own team members, because this is kind of like a if you've ever seen Think Media, the channel,
It's an empire. What you have is an empire.
well, that's what I took away from Think Media is I watched, Sean and them incorporate different team members, creating content on the channel. And I thought, oh, that's a way that I can, start to remove myself even from the content creation. Not that I'll ever completely step away, but if we can have team members also contributing content, we can have more content going out on a regular basis, and it doesn't fall back on me 100% all the time. So that's the biggest question I think you should be asking as a business owner is who can I get to do this? Because you can do it, you can, and how to do it is out there. It's just a matter of you shouldn't be doing everything yourself. That's the only way you're going to scale. And ultimately, video is sales and communication at scale. So that's the other thing. You have to get out of one-on-one selling. You have to get out of, one-on-one client consultations, so to speak. What I mean by that is that every single conversation, if you're in real estate, if you're, selling satellite dishes, I mean, you could be selling cell phones, anything like that, it would almost be better for you to sell cell phones, so to speak, or explain cell phones on videos, walk people all through that. And then you have affiliate links. You could probably make more off of affiliate links and brand deals than actually selling cell phones in a store to individual people. So you have to think in those types of terms. How do I sell myself? And so the thing is what I talk with real estate agents all the time is that, look, you have the content's all in your head. And the thing is that you just choose to have a one-on-one conversation with a person every time they come to your neighborhood, and they come to your neighborhood and you can tell them everything about your neighborhood, but that conversation lives and dies with that one person. As soon as they leave for the day, that's it. And guess what? You have to do it again tomorrow. Or I just have a conversation with the camera and I can tell the camera everything I know about this neighborhood. And guess what? I can reach 100 people, 1,000 people, 50,000 people with that one conversation just because I chose to have it with a camera instead of an individual person. And so that does all the groundwork, all the legwork. So no matter if you're in real estate, mortgages, selling cell phones, whatever it is, just have the conversations that you would have with clients, do it on camera, record it, publish it, have a strategy behind it, and it's going to get found, and you're going to be able to scale, and you're going to be able to grow your business. And that is going to allow you to expand because now you're reaching so many more people. The inbound business will come. And it's just a matter of once it comes, then you have to be able to handle that, convert it, and then use that money wisely to be able to expand your own systems and people so that you can scale accordingly.
I have a question for you, Levi. I love what you just said there. And, I definitely think it boggles me how many people are still resistant to, all these unbelievable ways that you can basically defeat any game. There's no middleman anymore. Mm-hmm. You can go directly to your clients, to your audiences at scale in a way that we've never seen before. And all of these platforms are free, right? I mean, 99% of them are, at the very least. Do you get a lot of pushback from real estate agents and brokers? Like Levi, YouTube is, I see my daughter on Snapchat or YouTube. My kids watch YouTube. How am I going to, do you see a lot of pushback? And by the way, before you answer that, Levi, anybody in the chat watching this, listening to this live, by the way, replay viewers, we also have a questionnaire form in the description. But if you have any questions for our awesome guest, type in a big capital Q and then your question, and I will make sure that we get your question answered. Do you get a lot of pushback from people in your industry for this?
Actually, I get a lot of recognition. It's funny going to conferences or meetings or things like that. The people come up to me all the time now, and there's a lot more people watching. So they're actually saying, I love your channel. I stalk your channel. I copy your channel. I'm ripping off your channel. I hope that's okay. So they're always prefacing it.
Hey, you should get 10%, Levi.
Yeah. So it was funny. I was in Houston at a conference last week, and somebody said, how do you come up with all your content? I just don't know what to say. And I said, well, look at my channel and apply it to your city. I said, you've got 185 videos that you've got content for days. Just replace Dallas with your city, with Houston. And so they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I think, the thing is that I think people are they're blown away about the growth that we've had, because this was my biggest fear moving into real estate, was because I'm 42 now, but I was 41 at the time. And my career had just went to zero because of all of the shutdowns in 2020. It was extremely successful. I'd been building it up for 5 years. I thought it was going to be my retirement, everything else, everything was great. And then when everything shut down, that's when the light bulb went off that I was doing that. I was having one-on-one conversations with my clients. And so therefore, whenever you're not allowed to go out, you're not, school shut down, businesses are laying off, and those conversations end, there was nothing there for me to do. I couldn't do.
There were no open houses, right? There were no meet and greets, right?
Well, I wasn't in real estate at that time. I was in financial services. So I had contracts though with all the schools in Dallas, which was extremely lucrative until all the schools.
Okay, now back up a second. I want to know how you got into real estate, because why? I mean, I feel like, and chat, give me a hashtag yes if you agree with this. I think Levi could sell anything. He could sell ice to Eskimos if he wanted to. And before you start getting a kind of cringy vibe on the word sales, you got to understand, being a content creator involves a lot of marketing and sales. Sales is not a pejorative. It is not a negative term. There is not a business alive that cannot survive without sales, even the electric company. So how did you go from financial services to real estate? And then I want to dig deep into these last 12 months and YouTube, because I know our audience is going to get a ton out of that. How did you get into real estate? I'm just curious.
Well, I've actually kind of never really known my path, Nez. So the thing is I got out of the military. I came back from a deployment in Iraq and finished my time in the military in 2005. I actually got into selling cell phones. If you've ever been inside a Costco and one of those cell phone people, but that's what I came back and did from Iraq, And the thing is that, what I did was I found the best cell phone salesperson at Costco, and I went and hung out with them for 2 days. And then I became the best salesperson. Well, then I got recruited to a pharmaceutical company, which I didn't even have a college degree. But I was still able to get through on the interviews and get hired at a pharmaceutical company. And what did I do? I found the top pharmaceutical salesperson and went and spent a couple of days with them. And then I became the top salesperson. Well, then I moved into financial services. And what did I do? I looked for the top financial services person in the business and went and, hammered them with questions and spent some time with them. And then I became the best. And so the same thing in real estate. This is my simple formula for success. Who's at the top? What are they doing? How did they get there? How can I model that? How can I adjust it to fit my personality? And then can I do better than them? So that's simple. The thing is I don't try to reinvent anything. So then moving into real estate, what happened was my financial services business, I had all the contracts with Dallas ISD going very successful. All the schools shut down. Nobody wanted to invest money anymore. Everybody was pulling money out of their accounts, but I was ready for a change. So what happened is over the summer of 2020, I sat there and instead of, I was thinking, okay, well, I need to pivot. I did want to make a shift anyways, but I thought I need to pivot. Well, I have some of my most successful friends are in real estate. The thing is that I never wanted to be a real estate agent because I didn't want to put in all the hard work that I know they go through the first 2, 3, 4 years to be able to brand themselves.
It's such a grind.
Yeah,
it's such a grind, especially the first 2, 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
how did you circumvent that? How did you?
Well, I got on YouTube. So,
really quickly. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, that just makes me love you a million times even more. The fact that you are military and you were a service member. And I want to say, first of all, a huge thank you, because I love my military family. And I love, I have so many students who are in the military. I wasn't in the military personally, but I just have such a profound respect for that. I want to touch on something. I love what you said, Levi. Thank you for the background. I want to touch on something that you said. This is my philosophy for everything. Look who's at the top. Check them out. How can I model them? What are they doing? How can I incorporate that into my whatever that is, right? Applying that to YouTube. First of all, did you apply that to YouTube? I'm assuming you did. And then B, can you kind of go through that? Like, how did you apply that really I agree with completely. And this is what I even do when creators hire me to do a YouTube consult. I do the very same thing. I look at all of their competitors and I look at the top 10 people and we go through the whole gamut. Is that what you did when you started on YouTube?
Yeah, well, actually, I knew when I finally decided I was going to transition into real estate, which again scared me to death at 41, because I thought, how am I going to start over without starting over? And so one of my friends and mentors, Michael Reese, said it's not the best real estate agent that wins, it's the best marketer. So that was the mindset to say, okay, I need to approach this as a marketer and as a business owner, not as like, hey, let's shake hands, kiss babies, and see if we can build relationships first. It's like, no, who can we market to? Well, I wanted to attract business. I did not want to cold call, door knock, spend money on postcards, be the person in the magazine, try to plaster the grocery store on shopping carts. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I know I'm going to attract business. I can do that through social media. All the noise was really around Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, especially TikTok, because most real estate agents in 2020 were waking up to 10,000 followers. And so they thought that was the greatest platform. But whenever I looked into everything, I thought nothing really set well with me in my gut. I didn't feel like those platforms were a good fit for me. So YouTube was the last choice. But as I started to dig into YouTube, that's where I started to kind of see a difference. Like, YouTube is not a social media platform. It's a search engine ultimately. And so therefore I thought, okay, I can get on there and I can create business, because it was, what I usually do is I start with books. Anytime I want to move into a new industry or field, I usually buy the books first, because I feel like that will lead me to the paths of finding the other right people. I bought YouTube Secrets, and it was funny because I told Benji this, a good friend of yours as well, that one little paragraph, he had one little paragraph, like in one of the last chapters, that said he started a real estate channel back in 2009, answering questions and providing value. And that landed him the HUD account. It helped him go from 10 homes to selling 100 homes in a year. And I thought, okay, maybe there's something to this YouTube. So then, yes, I searched YouTube for real estate, for content creation. So I found Think Media, I found you, I found Roberto Blake, I found Daryl Eves, I found all these channels. Then I started looking at real estate channels. A lot of crappy real estate channels out there. So
there really are. There's a ton of bad ones out there.
and what I saw was a lot of the same videos, market reports, listing videos, just things that weren't getting any views. And then I found a couple of other channels where they had some videos like pros and cons, cost of living, top neighborhoods. And I thought those had a ton of views. And I thought, oh, these are more value-driven videos. At the same time, I know nothing about being a real estate agent, but I know everything about Dallas because I've lived there for 20 years. And so if I can explain Dallas to people, is that enough to provide the value that they'll want to work with us? And we can work out all that other real estate agent stuff in the back end, right? I think the only way
you went macro. That's smart.
The only way to become the best real estate agent is through multiple transactions. But if you don't have the business coming in the front door in the first place, then how are you, I don't care if you memorize that contract inside and out and know every single paragraph and clause. It does you no good if you do not have the business to work with. So I knew I needed to attract business. So then I started to study the platform, because I also understood that they're very powerful. The thing is that if you're at my age range, which is 40 and above, we have this love-hate relationship with social media. We didn't grow up with it in high school. It wasn't there if you went to college or not. You probably started your first career without social media. And then once it came around, you're like, oh, this is stupid. Everyone's posting their lunch and stupid cat videos, right? But the person posting that cat video is probably making $1 million on the other side of it, because they understand the platform as a producer, not a consumer. And
not so stupid anymore, is it?
No. Hey, I thought about getting a cat just to make cat videos all day, you know? So, the thing is that
you're better at real estate.
Yeah. Then I just really dug into the platform. I bought 8 or 9 different YouTube marketing books. Not too many of them are that great. I thought YouTube Secrets and YouTube Formula were the two best to really help you understand fundamentals and principles. And then I just started watching a ton of videos. I got into Clubhouse. That's where I said, I met you for the first time. You were the first YouTuber.
Everything changed once he met Nez. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the positive.
I still have the United States on my channel banner because of Nez. That
I love it.
was brainstormed, in one of those rooms. But I jumped on Clubhouse and never went into a real estate room. Only went into YouTube rooms for the first 4 or 5 months. To me, it was Clubhouse was like a 24/7 customer service, YouTube hotline, and so I could go in there.
I never thought of it that way. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So I was just like, every time I had a question or thought of something, I'm like, I would look on Clubhouse. And in the beginning, a year ago, there was a lot of YouTube rooms. Now they're not so prevalent anymore. But at the time when I needed them, it seemed like one was always going on. And I would jump in there. I could ask you. Benji was on there a lot more. I mean, rooms with Sean. I mean, Daryl Eves was on there sometimes. And I got to talk to Daryl Eves, in Clubhouse rooms and ask questions. And so, those types of things really helped me mold the channel and build it from there. And so everything I was doing was just
tell us a little bit about this. I want to get specific because I love that. And I love, everything about the fact that you have this. I think what was really a big takeaway for me, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat, replay viewers, etc. You understood that you don't know what you don't know. And you needed to, I've said this before many times, where the clothes of YouTube, right? Where the clothes of the online ecosystem, where you need to break them in. It's like buying a brand new pair of shoes. You got to break them in. You got to run around in them, walk around the house with them, or wear them, put them on for a while so you get the feel of it. Everybody talks about the mental side of it or the mathematical side of it, but a lot of people don't talk about the feel of it because there's a definite intuition and feel to YouTube. So this amazing run of 90 million closings, what would you say to somebody, because not everybody can afford a team. And obviously you didn't start with a large team, a new realtor, a new real estate agent, a new content creator, a new YouTuber, all assimilate all of those teachings. If you can synthesize that and maybe distill that into like a 5, 4, whatever kind of step methodology, what would you say to somebody watching this, listening to this right now, who's like, well, man, I can't afford a team, or I have to do everything myself. Most content creators and small businesses, when they start out, they have to do it by themselves. So what would you recommend? Distill that amazing knowledge, which is equated into astronomical sales numbers. What would you say to somebody who's like, Levi, how do I do what you do?
Well, you have to start, first of all.
That's exactly right.
And you got to get out of your own way, and you got to get out of your own head. And, the thing is that what I understood from my research was that if you treat YouTube like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. So I actually wrote out a business plan before I started and knew exactly what I was going to do over the first 4 months of YouTube. So I never questioned myself or what am I going to do or what's the next video, because I put together a business plan and I understood consistency was key. You see, most people, record a video or two, they get all excited, they put it on YouTube, and then life happens, health happens, real estate happens, family happens, and then nothing happens. They don't post a video for 2, 3, 4 weeks. And I believe that'll kill your channel quicker than anything is inconsistency. And it's very difficult to establish an audience with inconsistency. But I'll tell you this, people tell us all the time, they appreciate the amount of work we put into the channel. They actually email us and text us and call us and say, hey, do you have time to be our real estate agent? Because they see the consistency. And I believe if you're going to be on social media and you're not consistent, you will lose business quicker than you'll ever gain it, because people will notice that. And they will know if you're inconsistent on social media, they will believe you're going to be inconsistent in business or helping them as a client. So if you're on there, you better be consistent no matter which platform you're on. But ultimately, I did everything myself in the beginning. It was just me. I did it with an iPhone. I still use an iPhone 11 Pro to do my
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. I started with an iPhone. I still use my iPhone all the time.
I love it. Yeah. But again, as you grow, you better start to scale. You better take the measures. As I mentioned, 2 homes. We closed our first 2 homes in April, closed 3 in March, 5 in March, April, May. What was the next month after that?
Amazing.
June. It was a slow progression, but as that slow progression happened, that's whenever we put the steps. And now also I do have a partner, Travis, my partner, Travis Plum. He came in, and, you know, from the beginning, we didn't start everything together, but we started to work together. And what I found is that a partner can help you scale tremendously if they're the right partner. Now, a partner can also completely tear you down, but Travis and I were completely aligned on our goals and our vision, but we have opposite strengths, and they're really the best strengths to have opposite of each other. So we're able to divide and conquer. We're able to cover a lot more ground than just an individual person. And so we're able to grow that accordingly. And so each of us were able to implement different things in the business as we progressed. So, you know, that's another aspect of it, is as you start to grow, you want to ask yourself, well, do you bring on a partner? Do you bring on a referral agent? Do you bring on an employee? You know, those are the types of things. Again, who can do this versus how you can do it. Those are the questions you have to ask yourself along the way. Who can do this as I expand, as I grow? Now, I did have an editing budget from day one because I had zero interest in learning how to edit, and I knew that would take me too long, and I probably would have quit after one video. So, you know,
you didn't want to sit through a Photoshop course for 10 hours?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, no,
I think that was the biggest mistake I made when I started out was, you know, I actually love the editing process and I love the whole content creation process, and I still do my own editing, but I also feel that what you're saying, especially, you know, I had a budget at the time. I could have easily hired a video editor, and it probably, my early 100, 200 videos probably would have been a ton better. I would say, don't mean to cut you off, Levi, I want to keep hearing from you. I would say that's a biggie right there, is if you do have the budget, just, you know, see what you can allocate that time, because time is the only thing that you cannot get a refund on. Time is the only thing that's slipping away every second, and you can never get that back. So definitely time and removing bottlenecks is huge. Let me ask you this, Levi. What was the two things? And by the way, if you have a question, go ahead. Sorry, Levi. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question, Nez. Hold on.
Please.
I have a question. No. So actually, YouTube does give you a refund of your time. YouTube makes you time. YouTube compounds your time. You see, if you invest in anything, if it's real estate, stocks, crypto, Bitcoin, whatever the case may be, what's your number one question as an investor? It's usually, what's going to be the return on my investment? Well, YouTube directly tells you the return on your investment of time. So if you're going to invest your time into social media or anything, you should be asking, what's the return on my time? The thing is last year, our channel was watched 66,600 hours. If you divide that by 24 hours in a day, that's equivalent to 7.6 years. So I profited 6.6 years in a 1 year time frame. But the thing is my channel prospected for us 7.6 years. Think about that. If you actually even break that down to a typical real estate agent that makes phone calls 2 hours a day, that puts us 150 years in advance compared to them. So you can refund your time by making videos. Not only, you really don't refund it, you make time. So making videos does not take time. It makes you time. And the thing is that now I spend the least amount of my time per week making videos because I've become so proficient at it. It's just become second nature. But ultimately, making video, especially on YouTube, is the true 4-hour work week. If you've ever strived to have a 4-hour work week, well, I probably spend maybe 1 to 2 hours a week making videos. And that's what fuels all of this growth, all of this business, all of this expansion, is the fact that I spend 1 to 2 hours a week making videos. And people tell me all the time, I don't have time to do that. Well, if you don't have time to do that, that's exactly why you should do it, because clearly you're not leveraging your time properly. If you can't spare an hour or two to make videos that can return you multiple days and years of your time on top of that business that will, grow you and give an income to your family and everything. Plus, here's the other thing. If you have a family, I think video is the best thing you can do for your family, because
absolutely,
what do most
100%.
What do most business owners get in trouble for? Never taking time
working
off.
Too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And going on vacation and not being present.
I got to go meet a client, honey. I'll be back at 10.
Guess what? Go on vacation, take a month off, go do what you want to do. The videos will work for you while you're gone, even on the weekend.
Oh, I love that.
So
true.
That's the best thing you can do for your family too.
Let me ask you this: I know YouTube is dominating for you, and you're just like, creating such an amazing I don't know another realtor, real estate agent, or anybody in the real estate game who's doing as well as you are. Are you getting most of your leads through YouTube? Or are you finding other platforms are giving you leads and generating business?
All of them. We average 7 inbound leads per day from our channel.
So all of it's coming from YouTube.
Yep, all of it.
Fantastic. Okay, where is the aha? I want to find out in that 12 months, because I know you military cats. What I love about you, operations, systems, processes, methodologies. You're very lean and agile, and you got great systems. What was that aha moment, Levi, for you, where you're like, okay, and you told your partner, this is exactly what we need to do. Bada boom, bada bing, title, thumbnail, audience, keyword, what have you. What was that moment where you're like, okay, I know exactly what we need to do moving forward? Because, like I'm sure most people watching and listening to this, and I've said this a million times, in the beginning, you're probably going to fail 1,000,000,006 times. But it's that 1,000,007th time that can, and I'm obviously exaggerating, not literally. Don't take me literally. 1,000,000,000 times, Nez? But it's let's just say that, a lot of people like to use the first 100 videos, right? Which actually I don't even necessarily agree with. Sometimes it can just be 20 videos or 30 videos. But there is that period. It's almost like a grace period you need. It's that learning curve, right? And you learn through osmosis, you learn through experience. What was that moment for you, Levi, where you're like, okay, I got it. This is what we need to do. Rinse and repeat. And then you see the numbers climb. Was there something that gave that to you and you could share with the Nez Nation audience so they can glean some insights?
Absolutely. It was the first phone call, because the goal of the channel was, can we make the phone ring? Period. It wasn't, can we get subscribers? Can we get 1 million views? Can we go viral? None of that. The only goal was, can we make the phone ring? And after 30 days, we got our first call, and it was $1 million buyer. And we had 48 subscribers on the channel and barely 1,000 views total on the entire channel. And what that told me, because here's what they said. They called me. What they didn't say is, they didn't say, hey, Levi, you only have 48 subscribers. Hey, Levi, how much production did you do last year? Hey, Levi, how long have you been in business? Hey, what brokerage are you with? They didn't ask me any of those questions. What he said was, hey, that video you made on that particular neighborhood is the exact neighborhood we're thinking about moving to. We found a lot of value in that video, so we thought, why not give you a call? That's exactly what they said to me after 30 days and 48 subscribers into the channel, and he had $1 million budget. Now, some agents, it takes them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Some may never get $1 million client. And here it was, within 30 days, it was our first call. So that let me know, okay, we're onto something. We're providing value. People are looking for this information that we're creating towards. So that's what I doubled down on. And then just also the fact that what I noticed was there were a couple of other real estate agents making videos on YouTube. But what I also noticed is they only made 1 video a week. So I thought, if I'm ever going to catch them or pass them, I need to outwork them. And so that's why I came out with 3 videos a week for the entire first year.
Yeah, I mean, real estate is such a visual thing too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just insane to me. There's another real estate agent that I know who does a bunch of Facebook Lives when she's showing houses or listing new homes. Do you use YouTube ads at all, or you're doing everything organically?
It's been all organic, and I'll tell you why. Because
so 90 million in sales without 1 penny on ads.
Correct.
I mean, guys, let that sink in. I mean, Levi's making 7 figures a year in commissions. And, I know it's you and your company, right? You and your partner. So you guys are probably splitting that, right? But I mean, think about that. I mean, now, how many businesses are drooling right now and dripping with jealousy and envy? Because, even myself, I've spent, I still use Instagram and Facebook ads, not as much as I used to, but there isn't a business out there that doesn't have an ad spend budget, right? And Levi's doing all of this organically. I mean, can you talk about that for a second? That's crazy. Do people just look at you in disbelief when you say that?
Absolutely. We were just at a conference the last 2 days, And it was with the top real estate teams in the country. And you're talking about people, some of them, one guy had 150 agents on his team, in there. And there's other people who have been in business for 10, 20 years, and they're doing hundreds of millions of dollars and thousands of transactions. Every single one of them, every time they heard the story, they were blown away. They're like, wait, how long have you been in real estate? Wait, you already have a team? Wait, what? You're doing this? They're spending, some of them are spending 30, 50, 80,000 a month on Zillow leads, So,
Wow.
so the thing is that I understood, again, from the research in the beginning, that the platform was powerful enough to find your audience. Now, I have tested, because we have a second channel, that because we're growing our team, we're running some recruiting ads, to grow our team, because I understood we don't want to wait around for organic growth to grow our team, right? And so we did run ads to that to attract agents. Now, here's the thing. What I noticed from doing that is that you do get artificial subscribers and you get artificial views, right, when you run ads. And so that's why I never wanted to run ads to the channel, because I wanted everything to be organic. I wanted it to be real people, real subscribers. So I didn't care if I had 1,000 or 10,000. They were the right 1,000 or the right 10,000 subscribers. Now, I have figured out a way, because we're working with a real estate coach, and they're telling us, look, can you imagine if you run ads and supercharge all of that? Well, I was just like, I'm not going to run ads to the channel, because it inflates the numbers, and that's not what I'm looking for. So I think I have figured out a way that we probably will test with some paid ads. And that's just for the fact that, why not? If you can, throw gasoline on the fire, if you want a bigger fire, why not? So I think I've figured out a way to backdoor it. We could talk about it offline if you want. I don't want to share everything right here, but
I would say this, I would say this just really quickly. Yeah. You'd never ever want to get paid ads for channel growth.
Right. Yeah.
If you're selling something and you've got a service or product, which I know you do, Levi, and most people watching and listening do, as do I, YouTube ads are just as good, if not better, than Facebook ads. Especially if you're good with, if you have a solid concept and you've got video skills and you got a top video game like Levi does, it would be, I agree with whoever your mentor or coach is, it would be a disservice not to create some type of funnel, paid advertising strategy. But for channel growth, I would definitely say that's the worst thing you could do, is because you're essentially paying for views. You're paying for subscribers. Number one, YouTube keeps an eye on that. And if you try to game that system, you could get your channel deleted. Number two, to Levi's point, you are going to get artificial subscribers and artificial views. And those inflationary numbers are not going to have any impact on the long-term, growth of your channel. And then number three, that could kill your videos, because you get terrible retention and watch time. Mm-hmm. And everything is governed by, if you do YouTube right, YouTube will do the job for you. And, through recommendations, and yes, through search. Levi and I have talked a lot about search. I have nothing against search. Trust me. I just don't think you should put all your eggs in the YouTube basket in search. But it's really important to make that distinction. If you're trying to grow your channel, don't put a penny behind paid ads. You just need to put in the work, like what Levi did. Be consistent, understand your audience, learn the platform, be a student, don't have an ego. But if you have something to sell, YouTube ads are phenomenal. If you're trying to do a webinar, you're trying to get, newsletter subscribers, etc., YouTube ads are phenomenal. I think that's a good distinction right there. Well, Levi, I mean, you've absolutely crushed it. Does anybody have a question for Levi? I'm shocked. Annette's here. You don't have a question for the real estate mogul, Mr. Levi Lascsak, for crying out loud. Levi, you have started from, pretty much scratch on YouTube. Then you've grown this into a burgeoning, thriving business. Now you're scaling. Let me ask you, because I know you're a man of foresight. I know you always have a plan. What's next for living in Dallas? What's next for Levi over the next, year or two, 36 months? What's next for Levi? What do you got on the horizon to inspire us with?
Well, we've expanded. I mean, we built out a whole digital course on how to do this, exactly what we did for real estate agents. And, through that, we've already reached multiple six figures just in the last 6 months for sales to that. We've also opened up editing services for real estate agents because real estate agents were going through the course and then getting stuck trying to find an editor or getting that subbed out. And so we just expanded our editing team to offer turnkey, done for you, complete video optimization. All real estate agents have to do is record the video, turn it over to our team. They'll make the tags, the titles, the thumbnails, optimize it, write the description, do the hashtags, even upload it to YouTube for them. So it's a complete turnkey service. So now we've expanded into that, which is producing reoccurring revenue as well. And we are in discussions with a couple of people about licensing that course out. And, so we're expanding on that. And now
more revenue sources, more revenue streams.
We are. And then
just
also,
like you should.
Yeah. And I think also what we want to expand into is really start to dig into the crypto and NFT for real estate, because
smart contracts.
I believe that is going to be the future. There's quite a few gurus and experts saying that within 5 years, 50% of real estate transactions will happen through NFTs or digital assets. And within 10 years, it'll probably be 100% of them. So if you don't start moving in that direction, you could actually miss out. Just like if you're a real estate agent and you're not on video, I think you're going to get really left behind unless you have that 20-year-old brand where everybody in town knows you. The thing is that nobody knew me at all whatsoever a year ago. And that's the power of video, is it can supercharge everything. It was funny. I was in the airport. I'm actually in Puerto Rico right now, but I was in the airport yesterday, and this old lady came up to me and she goes, "Are you the real estate YouTube guy in Dallas?"
Let me get your autograph.
Yeah, it was funny. I was like, all right. And that's actually, that's the fifth time that's happened just around Dallas. So, that to be able to establish that within a 12 to 15 month time frame, I don't know how else you would do that other than video. But you think about it, our channel last year reached or had 9 million impressions in 1 year. Our first year on the platform, 9 million impressions that YouTube gave us for free, which means, this, Nez, right? An impression means your thumbnail set on somebody's screen for at least 1 second, which means my face, our channel, our videos was in front of 9 million people inside of
amazing.
Yeah. So where else can you get that reach? And that's the great thing about it, is that you can start from nothing, just like I did. I new industry, no experience in licensed real estate agent, but I had experience in Dallas, right? Because I've lived it for the last 20 years, and not really experience even in video. And I just, took massive action. That's all it was. And I didn't, I think my videos are better now than when I started out, but I didn't care. Nobody's going to watch your first video anyway. So don't try to perfect it, because nobody's going to see it anyways. It's funny. I think
everybody go watch Levi's first video right now. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I think it still has.
I bet you it was better than my first video, dude.
It was, but it still only has, I think, like 400 views. It's probably one of the
only 400 views. Only that's a lot of views, dude. That's good. 400 views is good. Don't take that for granted.
Yeah, well,
I know you're getting thousands now, and if not millions.
The expectation.
And by the way, oh, that just reminded me. Glasses are coming off.
Uh-oh.
If you have questions, we've got another 5-6 minutes. I'm going to take some last minute questions for our YouTube real estate guru mogul, Mr. Levi Lascsak. I want to congratulate you, my friend, because you just reached, and I couldn't believe you called it what you called it on Instagram. I was pissed when you said this, because vanity metric is subscribers and followers and influencer or whatever, but views, everybody listen to this. Levi's channel just crossed what I consider the most important metric, which is views, because views lead to impact, views lead to leads, views lead to sales. It's not about subscribers. Your subscribers don't pay you anything. It's about views. It's about actually creating impact. And the marketplace speaks very loudly. If your YouTube channel is not creating impact, you're not going to get any views. Mr. Levi Lascsak just passed one of the rarest milestones any YouTube channel can pass. 1 million views. 1 million views. That is I mean, you need to get that framed, bro. That's a beautiful thing. Like, that is an accomplishment and a half to say to the marketplace, I am able to create this kind of impact where I get 1 million eyeballs checking out my content, and you're just at the beginning. And so I just want to say a huge congratulations to you, Levi. And also, just to kind of piggyback on what you said, to use a Clubhouse term.
I thought you weren't allowed to use that term.
I can't believe the broadcast didn't just go dark. I should have never said that word. But, what I love about what Levi's saying is that, you can't get that kind of reach anywhere but YouTube. Here's another cool thing, and I know Levi knows this all too well. You don't have any hours on YouTube. There is no 9 to 6. There is no, I got to go to sleep. YouTube works for you while you sleep. YouTube creates revenue and leads and client generation while you sleep. It's phenomenal. And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, Levi, but there's people internationally who maybe want to move to Dallas, not just people nationally. So your video, while you're asleep, Levi, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in Singapore or somebody in Barcelona who might be thinking, you know what, it's time for us to move to the United States. Look at this guy. He's talking about Dallas. I hear they have a pretty good tax bracket and tax system over there in that state. Maybe that's the place. Joe Rogan moved there, right?
Yep.
Hey, by the way, has that, so anyway, let me finish this point and I want to ask you about that. Mm-hmm. So it works while Levi's asleep. Your YouTube channel can work for you while you're asleep. There's never been anything like that in the history of mankind until now. So think of the possibilities. By the way, really quickly, Levi, did Joe Rogan moving to Texas, did that have a huge impact on your business?
Not at all. No.
Not at all. Okay. Because I know he's not the only high profile.
Now Elon Musk moving Tesla and companies that has a huge impact on Texas. Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just got to up your credibility. Yeah. Like,
I mean, Joe is one guy, Joe, I mean, he's got a couple of employees, but when you're talking about Elon is moving manufacturing, thousands of jobs, multiple businesses, that's a huge impact. The point to go back to your point just now, Nez, if you're an agent and you live anywhere near a military base, you should absolutely be on YouTube, because guess what? Soldiers are getting transferred back into the U.S. from Japan, from South Korea, from Germany, and they can't just come into town and look at homes on a weekend. And guess what? The military tells them you have to move in about 60 days. And they're usually getting transferred to a base that they've never been to before. How do you think they're doing their research? How do you think they're finding the agent to work with? They're finding them on YouTube. We have sold homes to soldiers in Japan.
I didn't even think about that.
South Africa. Yeah, absolutely. And we've done we've done those transactions online, we've done that. And so they have a home to move into when they get transferred into the US, and that changes their lives completely. And we have to help people from other countries as well. And think about how restricted some of these countries have been over the last year or two. They haven't been able to just get out and come and hang out and look at homes casually. And plus that's a big inconvenience on top of that. But some of them are ready to get out, and that's the way they do it, is they research online.
That's awesome. Okay. Hey, Levi, I know we both got to go soon, but if you have a question, now's the time. We have a couple of questions from the chat. Do you have a little bit of time, Levi, to answer some of them? And then I'm going to give you some time at the end so you can tell everybody who's watching, listening, replay viewers, podcast listeners, where they can reach out to you and where they can find you. Our first question is from Shards of Gaming. Do you ever watch YouTube casually? If so, what do you watch?
Yeah, I watch Professor Nez.
There you go. That's the only channel you should watch, for crying out loud. Yeah. Hello.
Puts me to sleep every time.
That's a good answer. You see why Levi is who he is? This is why he's successful. This is a good question right here from Nano. Hey, Levi, how do you handle I think he's saying the tough times. How do you handle the tough times? Because every business goes through them.
Yeah, you handle the tough times, you handle them in the good times, which means we live life on offense. And if you do everything you can when things are good to prevent or make mistakes, if you make a mistake when things are going good, it's easy to correct or adjust or move on or to just let it go. But if you make a mistake when times are tough, you're going to put your back up against the wall. You're going to be in a position that's going to be difficult to get out of. You might work from desperation. You may not make the best decision. So in my opinion, is you weather the tough times by the decisions you make in the good times.
I love that. Well, hey, I just want to say a huge, huge, big thank you on behalf of the entire Nez Nation family, Levi. What would you? I would like for you, if you don't mind, two things. Number one, give us some final thoughts on anybody who happens to be maybe just jumping in the live stream right now, or anybody who maybe fast forwarded or whatever on the replay or watching this, listening to this, who's maybe not necessarily a real estate agent, but maybe they are. But just somebody who's like, man, like so many people are successful on YouTube. Like, what are some final thoughts that you can give? And then tell people where they can find you. But what are some final thoughts on what would you give? What's your best advice for being successful on YouTube?
It's not too late. We started December 5th, 2020, 15 months ago. I was 41 years old. All right. Some of you think at 40, your life is over at that point, so instead of buying that Ferrari, put it towards some video editing and make some YouTube videos. But it's not too late. And you can absolutely change your life and your business inside of 6 months. It happened to us. So that means it can happen to you as well. All I've ever needed is one person that has done it before. And that's always made me believe that I can do it. And, the thing is that you just have to take massive action. During 2020, when everybody was watching Netflix, I didn't watch Netflix. I researched and I studied and I stayed on my computer for 12 hours a day trying to figure out how am I going to make this move and do it correctly. YouTube wasn't right in front of my face, but the fact is I just continually digged and digged and digged, and I went down several rabbit holes. I bought several other courses thinking I was going to go a different route, but I had to burn through some of that money to realize that that wasn't the path I wanted to go either. And ultimately, I just continually searched until I finally found the path that I felt was going to be right for me. And then I just went all in. Didn't do any other type of marketing, try to generate any business, didn't pass out a single business card. I chose YouTube and said, I'm going all in on YouTube. It's going to work or it's not, but I'm going to give it at least a year no matter what. And I'm just going to, continually move forward. So that's the key thing, is that you can change your business and your life inside of 6 months or a year. And if you're not where you want to be, it's just because you haven't learned something yet. And I believe you can also hyper learn any subject within 60 days with all the information that's out there: YouTube, blogs, books, Google, every channel.
All the info's out there.
You can if you want to be the best postcard marketer on the planet for your dentist's office, well, you can, I believe, become the best postcard marketer on the planet within 60 days if you study it and you read and watch and consume everything you can about postcard marketing over the next 60 days. You can do that. And you'll probably be better than 99% of the people that just dabble in it on a monthly basis and don't ever really even understand postcard marketing. So, study your craft, be good at it, become the best you can on one thing, then you can expand to other platforms, other areas, other types of marketing.
Love it. Love it. I mean, I can't think of a better note to end on right there. Levi, such a great honor, man, having you, and just what a great thrill being your bud. I'm just really excited that you and I know each other, we're friends, and we continue to collaborate. We got to get you back on the show, man. We got to do maybe do a yearly annual thing, check up. How's the empire going this year? I was joking with Levi, before we went live. I said, we're all going to end up working for Levi. And I have no problem with that. He's crushing it. But yeah, thank you so much, brother. Much continued success. Tell our good folks here at Nez Nation where they can find you. And let's say they wanted to learn more about you. Where would you like to send them?
Yeah, find me on YouTube. So, of course,
where else?
Our Our client facing channel, our real estate channel is Living in Dallas, Texas. Our real estate agent channel is The Real Agents. That's REEL Agents, The Real Agents. So if you want to learn about YouTube for real estate, that's where we do a lot of videos and content for real estate agents. They're two separate channels because they're two different audiences. And as an agent, I don't believe you should be mixing real estate agent information with real estate client information, so
Love that.
you want to speak directly to a specific audience and go all in on that. So that's where you can find us. And yep. Thank you so much for having me, Nez. Always a pleasure to speak with you and hang out. So it's a lot of fun.
You're the best, man. I really, really appreciate it. Have a much continued success, and we definitely need to get you back in here. So thank you so much, brother. We'll see you next time. Let's do this, guys. We're going to, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just really quickly, whoops, okay, there we go. All right. So guys, what an amazing, amazing show. If you're just jumping in right now, you got to watch from the beginning, because I brought Levi on here because this guy is living proof that you can start literally today and be successful if you put in the work, if you put in the time, if you put in the energy, if you put in the study. He's living proof of this. He's absolutely created a mega business out of his YouTube channel, not just any small business, a real thriving. He's hiring, recruiting, building, scaling. I mean, this is why I wanted him to come on the show. And so I hope you got a ton. Thank you, Shards of Gaming. Yeah. On NezTube. I like that, NezTube. We need to start a NezTube. I want to say thank you to you guys. I want to say thank you to all the live chatters. Thank you, replay viewers, podcast listeners. If you have any questions or any comments, I don't know if you know this or not, but I respond to all the comments personally. So leave some comments right here on the channel. Podcast listeners, come back over here. Replay viewers, please feel free to leave comments in the chat and I will answer them. Don't forget, if you're enjoying these shows and you're getting value from these amazing guests and all the videos and all the resources where I help you monetize your skills, creativity, and experience in the creator economy, live life on your own terms, maybe, dare I say, quit your 9-to-5, you're in the right place. I am your ambassador to the creator economy. Make sure you become an insider so you don't miss anything. It's absolutely free, and you'll always get you'll always get the scoop on what the latest is. You'll always be in the loop. So make sure you become an insider. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Make sure you smash the thumbs up. And don't forget, Sunday we're live also. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.